down and distant and back. It's Tuesday, September 5th, and I got some early upsets for you. And it's early like. What? How did that happen, this early upsets? Well, before I get into that, I got some game highlights for you. Alright, so Colorado. Yeah, this is the beginning of one of our upsets. Yeah, Colorado put up a beatdown to TCU 45-42. I know they only won by 3 points, but what everyone expected to happen, TCU were to win no matter what. Yeah, that's what everyone's been saying. So, well done, Coach Primo. Let's see how they do next week. They're playing Nebraska. But, yeah, Ohio State got in trouble early on in the day. Early on in the game, they finally got things going in the fourth quarter. They end up beating Indiana 23-3, and this is as expected. Indiana is a good team, as expected. I knew this was going to be closer than a lot of people think. So, and that's a good win for Ohio State. And I gotta say, and I will say, the AP poll has dropped Ohio State. I'm shocked. I'm stuck. To me, they're still the number one team. Little preview for that. Penn State, you know, close. West Virginia did show up the first half, but Penn State got things going. They won 38-15. What a win by Penn State. Getting things going and really to make some noise. To me, they did a better job than any of the other Big Ten teams. Michigan and Ohio State, they played well-rounded. I mean, seriously, week one, I expecting struggles. Not only the first couple of drives, but like the first quarter, maybe in the first half. Like it happened. Teams struggled first half. Penn State got things going. Wisconsin put up the same scores, but allowed more points against Buffalo. But Wisconsin still competing. They won 38-17. They did, I don't think they moved in the AP rankings, though, so I think they're going to still be 19 heading into next week. I'm not sure. I haven't seen, again, I don't have the full schedule for next week memorized, but I only have the top teams, top games memorized, but I'm not sure who Wisconsin is playing next week, but I do know that if they did move, it's up one. But in that, they're still at 19. All right, North Carolina. This was a big one. This was really close. North Carolina, South Carolina. I wish it did like a halftime score because it was close. But they figured out how to stop Spencer Rattler. He didn't do anything in the second half. North Carolina, Mack Brown made second half adjustments. Fourth quarter, they completely took over the game. Won 31-17. And if you haven't seen the dance, you should look up Mack Brown's 100th win dance. It's amazing, and you probably should check that out. I love his little dance, especially for, what is he, 70 years old now? Alright, the next game is, gonna go really quick on this one. Iowa beat Utah State 24-14. Yeah, here's the thing. Iowa finally put up 24 points. Not the most points they scored in one game compared to last year. First game they do that. They finally found some offense. But this time their defense allowed 14 points. So, they finally figured out how to play offense, and yet their defense is, giving up now. So, yeah, that's new, but Iowa is finally actually looking like a football team now, and guess what? The AP dropped them out of the rankings. What? Give them another week, AP. Come on. Alright, anyway, and actually I'll explain why later, but anyway, UCLA and Coastal Carolina, Pac-12 After Dark. This was a really, really fun game to watch. Coastal Carolina really showed up. They came to play, but they were really, to me, I think they were the more physical team. But UCLA had playmakers and figured out how to get it done and won 27-13. So congratulations, UCLA. Another Pac-12 team with a W. Next game. Ooh, this was going to be a good one to talk about. Number 5 LSU on the road to play number 8 Florida State. Yes, you're not reading that wrong. Florida State put up 45 points to LSU. Oh, and get this. LSU had a lead at halftime. Now, it was only by a couple of points, a few points. But, yeah, LSU completely, forgot how to play football in the second half. Florida State was dominating. I don't know what to say other than, I told you, Florida State should be number 2. Maybe after this week, in the way Ohio State played Indiana, Ohio State may even be the number 1 team right now. I don't know, we'll see. I'll get to my rankings in a little bit, but, check out his stats. I mean, 23 for 31, that's not bad. 342 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yeah, he had that one interception. He had a few mistakes thrown into coverage when he shouldn't have, or he should just there are times where he should have just taken the sack or thrown away. Instead, he just throws it in midair for potentially, one of them got intercepted. But he cleaned that up for the second half, and, I mean, he didn't do that bad of a job. For a first game, he did really great. I'm proud of him. And we'll see how he does next week. But here's our player of the week, though. Drew Allen at Penn State. He had 21 for 29 against West Virginia, 325 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And if there's only one thing I have to say about him, outstanding game. He looks like probably the best quarterback, or overall quarterback right now except for, if I'm not including Caleb Williams, yeah, he's an all-star, but, this guy's a playmaker. He did a great thing, made halftime adjustments, found a way to get past West Virginia defense, and figured out how to win that game. You thought you'd get away from that sound in hardwood hoops. No, I'm bringing it to down and distance. It's upset alert time. Fresno State pulls up a big upset over Purdue, 39-35. This is a big game. And I'll just say this, look out for Fresno State. They are looking really good right now. Purdue, what happened? You used to be a top 10 team 3 years ago. You fell apart. What happened? Well, guess they're not a football school. I guess they should just stick to basketball. I'll talk about basketball talk in just a little bit. Northern Illinois pulls up an upset, 27-24 in overtime over Boston College. That's a big upset, and I gotta say this, Boston College, where are you? You used to be, not a good football school, but good enough. But Northern Illinois, again, I used to talk about them all the time for football. Not anymore. But here's a new football school to talk about. They're doing the same thing. This head coach do the same thing Coach Prime does. Transfer portals. The whole roster. Texas State. 42-31. Baylor never had the lead. Remember this. Baylor never had the lead in this game. The announcers kept saying, Baylor's going to find a way to get this. They're going to find a way to stop them. They're going to make plays and take over this game. Never happened. I kept waiting for it. Didn't happen. Texas State had total control over the whole game. Number 9, Clemson versus Duke. This is Monday Night Football, college football edition. This is a really, really fun game to watch mainly because, as a big O-line fan, I want to see how Brett Venables leaving Clemson now, 2 years now, affects Clemson defense. And also, they don't have DJ anymore. He transferred. I want to see what Dabo does, new backup quarterbacks now. And they got Garrett Riley as offensive coordinator now. Didn't work at all. And that's why they're this week's overrated team. Yeah, I had to change it last minute. I actually had LSU as overrated team because I really thought for sure Clemson was going to win that game. But after a performance like that, Clemson is definitely an overrated team. Clemson at number 25 in AP rankings this week. They dropped. I'm going to be talking about the AP rankings just a little bit. But dang, Clemson, dang. Not even Clemson, Dabo. I do know that he refuses to take in the what's it called? The transfer portal and the NIL, pay players what they need to be paid. He's old tradition, but I'm with him on that. But eventually, college football's change. You gotta accept the change, and yeah, I think he wants DJ back. DJ obviously was not the problem last year. But, yeah, that was totally embarrassing for Clemson. And good job, Duke. Duke didn't even look that great. They had a lot of mistakes, especially in the first half. So, I don't even think Duke was even that great either. But underrated team this week is Oklahoma. I mean, 73-0. I mean, I know they played Arkansas State, but wow. Oklahoma is back. Well, I wouldn't say Oklahoma's back. They never really left, but I mean, from last year, Oklahoma made a huge improvement. They definitely look more physical, more playmakers on that team, and they played a very vanilla offense, very basic offense and defense. So, if that's what they put up with the very basic gameplay, I can't wait to see what they do when they go physical and, like, really rush the quarterback. I mean, they really didn't blitz that all that much. They only had 1 sack that day. And if they really start blitzing and really get on to those players, get after and really, you know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the word, but, you know, really try and get to the quarterback. They are going to be dangerous. So, future offensive teams facing against Oklahoma, look out. This team looks ready to play. All right, let's take a look at my college pick'em this week. Now, this is one of the ones where last year I did not bad to start the season. And then towards the season ending, I got worse and worse and worse. Well, bringing it back this week, I'm kind of trying to redeem myself, and let's just say I'll take it. I went 7 for 4, 41 points. I gotta say, not a bad start to the new season. But, yeah. 6-4, I got a winning record now. I'll take it. I mean, week 1 is really the hardest because, and getting starting, I gotta say, I'll take it. Week 1 is probably the hardest one to predict because sometimes you don't even know how teams will play their first game of the season. Starting with the winning record, I'll take it. I like it because I don't have to worry about climbing up, or I don't have to worry about falling apart later on. But I just know that, I'm really right on the verge of, you know, an even 500. But Colorado TCU, I really thought it was going to be a low-scoring defensive game. It was not. It was high-powered offensive points. Not even close. I mean, look, I predicted like 32 points on the spread, 36 points on the pick'em. TCU is favored by 20 points. I really thought that, hey, I thought that, hey, TCU probably won't cover. I didn't have TCU cover. I had Colorado cover. I got that right. So I really thought that TCU scored enough points to make up for 32, and Colorado would make up enough for that. But I did not expect Colorado to take over that game and win. That's really hurt me right there. So, yeah, I did get the spread. I did win the spread in this game, so I am 1-0 in the weekly game. So I'll take that. But let's go to some NFL headline. The Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce has a hyperextended knee and will not play in the opening, and they are going to be playing the Lions, so I really don't think that's a bad loss because the Lions really aren't expect to be that great this year, but you never know. And yeah, there's actually a game, first NFL game is actually Thursday, so yeah, here it is. The Lions, who they're playing, I just mentioned, this game, 7:20 p.m. on NBC. It's going to be a good game to watch for the Chiefs. I mean, yeah, they'll be without the tight end, but I don't think that's going to matter. The Lions really aren't that great of a team, but it is week 1, so you never know. But, yeah, NFL starting this week, and I'll talk more about that on American Game Day. All right, got some college football headlines for you. Ryan Day is still unsure on his 2 quarterbacks who's going to start. He played both of them against Indiana, and he says, well, I mean, they're playing Youngstown State on Saturday, which is good, more of a scrimmage game to get some more practice in. So he's going to play both of them in Saturday's game as well, get more practice in. And I got to say, yeah, without his star quarterback, he really got nobody. Ohio State, yeah, I have them at number 1 in my rankings. I still, mainly because they're defense, but if they don't figure out their offense, things are going to change. But it's also, they could just stick with going back and forth between playing 2 quarterbacks. And then another Georgia staff gets arrested. I feel like I do this like once a month or something, but yeah, got arrested for reckless driving and speeding. So that's that. I mean, this is like what, the 4th time I've done a story about like a Georgia staff or like player speeding and getting arrested or like getting a ticket or like eventually, and then we had like a big one after when they won the national championship where a couple of them died in the wreck. Georgia needs to take some driving lessons, their staff and their players. They may be number 1 college football player, but they are down at the bottom at driving. Let's take a look at my rankings. All right. I know I've been talking about my rankings for the last, month now, but I finally got some changes. 21 through 25's only got one change. It's Ole Miss is in my rankings now. I really like the way they played, putting up, 70-plus points? I think they put up 77 points, so good job, Ole Miss. And with an offense like that, they will continue to stay in my rankings. Just need to see some defense. Now, I wouldn't say their defense wasn't bad. It could improve. Number 16, I got USC. Number 17, I got Clemson. Yes, I dropped it down that far. Mainly because, I'll talk about that in a little bit. 18, I got Florida. Number 19, I got Iowa. Number 20, I have Oregon State. Now, here's the reason why I don't have Clemson at 25 like AP does. It's because Clemson got into the red zone, not the red zone, but at the 1-yard line 3 times. All 3 of them, they fumbled. They got two of their field goals were blocked. I think all of them are easy fixes. Clemson could have easily won that game. So, but they basically just, with their mistake, they basically handed the game to Duke. Duke had a few mistakes in the first half, but they fixed it. And Clemson really didn't take advantage of Duke's mistakes. Duke took advantage of Clemson's mistakes. That's the reason why Duke won that game. And that's the reason why I have Clemson not all the way down at 25, because I think Dabo will get those things fixed, and Clemson will be back to Clemson. I mean, they're not going to the playoff anymore, but they're out of that. But I'll talk about Clemson later on. 11, they got Kansas State. A&M at 12. Texas at 13. Notre Dame at 14. And I dropped LSU at 15. Yeah, I dropped LSU big right there. I mean, they lost to Florida State as expected I did. So, I mean, I know LSU dropped way more on AP poll. My top 10 really didn't change that much. Number 7, I got Oklahoma. Number 8, Tennessee. Number 9 is Utah. And number 10 is Oregon. Yep. Pac-12 is getting good. Getting good right now. Oregon and Utah up a few. Texas, Oklahoma just moving up slightly because of mainly because of Clemson's loss. But, yeah, that's my top 10. And, with Clemson not in my top 6 right now, who am I going to put at number 6 right now? Well, or I'm with Ohio State, barely beating Indiana. Who am I going to have at number 1? Well, like I said, Ohio State, first game, they're going to struggle against Indiana. Indiana's not a bad school. As expected, that's basically how I figured that game to turn out. I still have Ohio State as 1. I was so close to putting Florida State at number 2, but Ohio State did as I expected them to do, and I'm not dropping them because of that. Florida State at 2. Alabama is 3 on my rankings. Number 4, actually number 6 is, I need to do it in that order. I keep forgetting I haven't do it in that. But yeah, I have Michigan taking over Clemson's spots. They go up 1. Number 4, I still got Georgia. And number 5 is still Penn State in my rankings. Let's take a look at the AP rankings. Number 1, is probably, still Georgia. 100% still Georgia. Now the question is, who's going to be number 2? All right? Is it going to be Florida State like I have? Let's find out. I really think that Florida State deserves it too. Oh, they still have Michigan at 2. Oh, of course. Of course. Number 3, come on. Nah, they're not going to drop Alabama out. Alabama's going to be at 3. Yep, there's Alabama at 3. Florida State probably likely going to be at 4. Watch this. Florida State at 4. Come on. Oh, wait. Who's going to be at 6? I forgot we did this. USC still 6. All right. Who's 4? And who's going to be 5? All right. Florida State's going to be 4. Yep, there it is. They're in the top 4. That's really good for Florida State. Once again, my preseason prediction for Florida State's coming true, and of course they drop Ohio State at 5. Well, why am I surprised about that? Are you kidding me? Anyway, Duke and Colorado is new in the rankings. I'm predicting those two to drop out within the next 2 weeks. TCU and Iowa is out of the rankings. I'm predicting those two to jump back in the next 2 weeks. So those 4 are going to keep on switching each week. I don't know why, but Florida State and North Carolina, with the biggest jump of the week, goes up 4 spots. Again, not surprised. And then the biggest fall is Clemson. All right, let's check out what's going around the network here on Busy Sports. Slater Report Podcast every Monday at 6 o'clock. And in this show, Down and Distance, every Tuesday at 6. Hardware Hoops, when basketball season comes back around, it'll be every Wednesday at 6. And then Hot Seats, putting coaches on the spot, basically. And I gotta say, after week 1, I already got some suggestions. It'll be the first Sunday of every month at 6. And our flagship show, American Game Day, every Saturday at 10 a.m. And if you haven't already, check out our website for the latest news, scores, stats, etc. And also, I got a good show planned for Saturday for American Game Day. NFL's underway, and I gotta say, I'm going to take an early look at NFL. I really haven't been following NFL that much, so my prediction's going to be way, way off. But if I get it right, I should become an NFL expert without even watching a single stat or highlights or anything. But we got college football this week. Yep, every week. Friday's got a good one. 6:30 ESPN2, Illinois versus Kansas. Now, I know this isn't that big of a game, but it's still football. It's still a Power 5 game. And Illinois, I know they had their ups and down year. Kansas, they're slowly getting better, but I got Kansas winning this game. They're at home. They got the fan energy again. They're bringing the fans back. I really think that the fans will take effect in this game. I know it's going to be a Friday night, but watch. Florida's going to win big. They're going to, well, not big, but two possessions. They're going to win that game. All right, got some big Saturday night games this week. Again, I'll have a full talk about these games Saturday, but I'm just going to do a quick preview on these games. But Nebraska versus number 22 Colorado. They're ranked now. Yep, they're ranked. 11 o'clock on Fox Saturday. Gonna be a big game. Really, you see, is Colorado really, did Coach Prime really turn Colorado to a good team? Or did TCU just being terrible this year? And is Rudolph turning Nebraska around? So these are first-year head coaches battling against each other to bring programs that used to be football schools that aren't anymore. Also, a big-time game, Ole Miss versus Tulane, number 20 versus 24, 2:30 ESPN2 on Saturday. Again, all these games are going to be on Saturday, and this is going to be a really good one because Tulane, they beat USC last year in the Cotton Bowl. That's last year. They got new rosters coming in, new players, so things are going to look different, but Tulane is home, but the problem is, can they stop Ole Miss often? And here's another big one to talk about. This is probably one of Oklahoma's biggest games this year. They got SMU, they got Cincinnati, and Texas. Yeah, after that, Oklahoma's schedule really looks pretty easy, but 5 o'clock on ESPN+. Number 18, Oklahoma. I really actually thought they would be higher ranked after a win like that, but if they beat SMU, I'm expecting them to jump more. But that's going to be an important game for Oklahoma there. All right, here's their game of the week. It's been the media's game talk all off season. Texas, Alabama, 6 o'clock on ESPN. It's going to be a big one. The media, everyone, even me, are saying that the winner of this game's going to the playoffs. Because if they win, I mean, obviously, if they win this game and they go undefeated, if they go undefeated, they obviously won this game. They're going to the playoffs. But if they lose another game, if they win this game and then at the end of the season they have one loss, they're going to say, oh, but they won this game, this matchup. They beat this team. And they're saying, okay, they have one bad loss. Let's put it in the playoffs. It's gonna be a big game. I'll have a lot of talk about that on Saturday. Alright, thanks for watching Down and Distance. I'll see you guys next week.